Hi Libra, welcome to your tarot reading. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. Either way, thank you so very much for being here. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to pull a traditional Celtic cross spread. Whatever message comes out is what the collective needs to hear at this time. I've set that intention with this deck and with my guides. So if you are here because this message is in your feed, then it is for you. And if you are here because of the title, then it is definitely for you. So let's get into your message and see what Spirit has for you. Be sure to like the video, hit that thumbs up, and definitely subscribe if you like the messages. All of your interactions really help to grow my channel, and I very much appreciate that. Thank you so much for all the love and support that you have given me. It also pushes the messages out so that others can get the guidance that they need. So I really appreciate you guys doing that. On the bottom of the deck, we have the moon card, and the moon is about dreams and illusions. This is about, um, bringing things to light that have been hidden and trusting your intuitive messages to guide you through things, right? So this can be like shadow side of things. This can be secrets coming to light, right? Maybe this could even be like an internal, like you finally accepting, seeing something, right? Shining the light on something that you've been dealing with, maybe on a subconscious level and not even realizing it, right? As far as like fear or shame, some kind of self-deception, right? That's the shadow self of things. But again, really just focusing on your intuition to move you through things, because the moon shows you where work can be done, right? By trusting your intuition, even working with dreams. So if you have like a dream journal, that would be really, really important. But it could be underlying fears as well, right? Coming to the surface here. So the situation is the sun. So you have the sun and the moon here. So the sun is about clarity, optimism. This is, the sun comes out after we've spent time in the dark, right? And doing that shadow work with the moon. And it kind of shines the light on everything, right? It brings that warmth and that vitality back and the optimistic side of things. So maybe there is some clarity or optimism that is trying to come in. On the flip side of that, the reverse can be, pessimism. The sun can't really be a negative card. It's just a very positive card. It is Leo energy, so you could be dealing with a Leo, or you could have Leo in your chart. But it can be a little bit of pessimism, right? Because the sun doesn't really have like a negative connotation. It's just more maybe a little bit pessimistic and needing to be a little more optimistic, right? So the blockage here is the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is about giving, receiving, and it's about that reciprocity, right? So making sure that you're giving as much as you're getting and vice versa, that you're getting out what you're putting into things. And that can be, a balance in work. This can be in relationships. This can be in, family dynamics, whatever it is for you. It'll be different for each of you, but there is like this need to have balance and be open to receive, right? It's this happy, healthy energy. So with this being in the blockage, it could be about like, a strings attached kind of mentality, whether that's from you or somebody that you're dealing with. There could have been strings attached to things in the past, and watch out for intentions behind acts. That's for you and for others, right? If you're giving to people expecting to get something back, then that's not really giving, right? That's there are intentions behind that, and that's not healthy. So, and make sure people aren't doing that to you as well. Um, giving something and then that expectation of getting something in return and then being disappointed, and being pessimistic about it, right? But try to give your time and energy and resources to people and situations where it's a joy, right? It's not a chore, but also like needing to be open to receiving. So the root cause of this situation is the judgment. And judgment is about, this is kind of like a rebirth, right? And going through some sort of ending and accepting lessons for what they are, right? It is surrendering and accepting things for how they are and then releasing them. So these people are, literally waking up here. So this can be about like a spiritual awakening. This can be just a realization and awakening to a situation that you were going through, right? And needing to remain optimistic about receiving, right? Maybe the blockages that you feel like you can't receive happiness or joy or this vitality type of energy. I just feel like this has something to do with you being open and not receiving something, or kind of having a pessimistic attitude because things didn't turn out the way that you wanted them to, right? So with the judgment, it can be about repeating patterns, right? And not learning the lessons, or even judging yourself too harshly, right? Because we can all do that. Don't be afraid to, embrace growth and change and remain optimistic here. So this could have been like some kind of, I mean, you could be doubting yourself as well, but, not open to receive, like you can't receive things and you're just being a little pessimistic about it. That could be like an underlying thing for you that you need to heal, right? That you're not, allowed to receive, or you're not capable of receiving, right? That's like a very negative mindset about self. So be aware of that if you are kind of self-sabotaging there, but again, that judgment is about um, accepting lessons, right? And then releasing and forgiving yourself and others for what is occurring here. Releasing the past. So in the recent past, what is affecting this situation is the death card. So there was an ending here, especially with this judgment card, right? This is about releasing, and the death is about releasing. So this is endings and beginnings. With every ending, there is a beginning, and then it's the transformation and rebirth that happens in between, right? After the ending, before a new beginning, there is like this rebirth or transformation in thought, in a way of being, or just in a situation in general, right? And again, there's like light at the end of this tunnel, though. See, like the sun's coming up on the horizon. So, you know, try not to focus, try not to be pessimistic about an ending or something that hasn't worked out the way that you had hoped it would, because it doesn't mean that things, the sun's not going to come up, which I love that the sun's here and it's here depicted. So, maybe this ended for a reason, and now you can move into a new healthier cycle, right? Mindset, whatever this is that ended. You'll know what it is for you because you've had a recent ending in the past. So the message from your higher self or your subconscious, we have the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is youthful, happy, playful type of energy. It's a loving energy. So, the pages are messengers, and this is like a new emotional experience, right? Expressing yourself emotionally, ex, um, accepting emotion, right? Like maybe you have been closed off and needing to be open to receive emotional messages, or open to receive joy and happiness and playfulness, right? Again, with this receiving here as the blockage. And I always see this child on the sun card on the horse, right? It's about like that inner child happiness and that vitality and that young, fresh, youthful energy. So maybe this is you kind of needing to be more playful and reconnecting like with your inner child and that playfulness and that happiness, right? Like, what is that for you? Is that, building Legos, drawing a picture, painting, whatever it is for you. It's just this need to kind of like be playful and be loving, especially to yourself, right? So in the immediate future, we have the Queen of Swords, which I love because this is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy, right? Like this is you stepping into that Queen of Swords energy. Whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. We all have masculine and feminine energy. But the Queen of Swords is very decisive, right? She's very honest, very truthful. She speaks her truth. So, maybe speaking up, speaking your truth, or just getting clarity, right, on where you want to go, how you want to move forward, and then taking decisive action to move yourself forward, right, from a place of logic. Um, Instead of like reacting emotionally to things, this is like really using your logic and staying balanced, and um, and then moving forward with um, your intuition as a guide here. So like really stepping into your Queen of Swords energy. I love that. So, in your thoughts and feelings, we have the Hermit card. And the Hermit card is about withdrawing, right? Like solitude, going within to kind of search for some answers and using that inner wisdom to kind of guide you, right? So, on the flip side of this, it can be like a fear of being alone or refusing to look within, right? Like if this is you maybe feeling like you're isolated or feeling like you're lonely and you're afraid to look within or afraid to like be by yourself, right? Just know that um those periods where you are forced to be alone are vital to your growth, right? This is so that you can gain this clarity and this wisdom. Because when you're around a bunch of people, especially the wrong people, that influence comes into play, right? So this is about you really going within to search for those answers. And maybe you have been doing that for some time now and you're ready to come out of this hermit mode, right? Because you're feeling isolated or you feel like you've, been in there for too long and now it's time to reach out for support. So, in your environment, the influence here is the King of Cups. So, the King of Cups is the feminine king, right? So, this is Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. You could be dealing with a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. There could be one like in your energy right now. Doesn't have to be. This can just be the energy that is around you. This is about emotional stability, empathy, having a lot of compassion and love for yourself and for others, right? Like being compassionate to yourself, nurturing yourself, and that self-love, really taking care of your mind, your body, right? All of the things. This is like self-love and really trying to also maintain strong boundaries, right? So setting boundaries and then expressing them compassionately. So maybe you are setting some kind of new boundary because the Queen of Swords is very much about boundaries. She has her hand out to receive, but she also has her sword up, right? So she's willing to cut anything out that doesn't serve her, and she has very good boundaries. So, I feel like this is you needing to kind of have some compassion for yourself and, just balance your emotions, your head over heart, right? So, in your thoughts and fears, we have the Nine of Cups. And I think this is about you really hoping for emotional fulfillment here, right? Maybe you're fearing being emotionally unfulfilled, but I really feel like you're hoping for a wish fulfillment, right? This is success, abundance, and like filling your own cup, self love, and being fulfilled in some way, right? Whether that's in a job or in a relationship, it's just that satisfaction within self. So I really feel like you're hoping to, improve your mindset, improve your happiness, your joy, and maybe even your abundance, right? So the potential outcome here is the World card, and the World card is about the end of a cycle, right? This is a completion and then moving into something new here, right? So this is a sense of reaping the rewards after you've put in a lot of hard work, right? So like going through judgment and the death and that hermit energy, going within, and like you could have been doing shadow work, right? With this hermit and that moon there, those tell me very much that you've been working on self, things under the surface, those underlying fears, or this not being able to receive. Where does that come from? Is that like a childhood belief, right? That you can't receive happiness and joy. I feel like maybe you're blocking yourself there, right? And that's maybe you've been doing a lot of shadow work and now you've put in all this hard work. So the world is like the completion of that cycle and really needing to see like how far you've come, and you know, be proud of that, and take the time to kind of reflect and see how far you've come and celebrate that, right? Because I always see this circle as like a portal, and she's like going through, right? And then it's a whole new beginning, like a new timeline. She is the world is the last of the major arcana. So it's like after the world comes the Fool card, right? So with every ending is a new beginning with this Death card. And the Fool is taking a leap of faith and having a whole new beginning. And the world is the completion of all of those lessons. Like you have been through all of this work, and now you're headed to a new timeline. So I feel like, you know, everything's coming full circle. Like you're really closing out. This could have been a karmic cycle, right? Um, but definitely learning a lot of lessons, because with that Six of Pentacles there and that Judgment, this is like, you know, awakening to a new way of being, awakening to, you know, who you are. This spiritual awakening, right? Like, again, if you've been doing shadow work, maybe you went through a spiritual awakening and then did the shadow work, or vice versa, right? You did the shadow work and now you're kind of awakening to new things. Could be both, right? I mean, we go through several spiritual awakenings, but whatever the case is for you and your individual situation, everything's coming to a close here. Like there is a completion of a cycle, and after that comes the new beginning, right? So I really love this. I think it's amazing energy. You've definitely been going through a lot of heavy energy here. So look forward to the completion of this cycle and, you know, releasing all of this heavy energy here. So I hope that that message helped, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.